What's up and welcome back to the channel, Bass Brothers Fishing. Naeem here. It's been a while since I've done any kind of John boat conversion, any type of John boat build video. And today we're doing a little bit of a mod. Now anybody out there who's doing a John boat conversion might know this already, that securing your battery could be considered a small part of a John boat build, but in reality it's a big piece of the puzzle that you will want to solve for, because you want to secure your battery down properly, especially heavy batteries. So if you have a heavy battery in your boat, you don't want that thing bouncing around, especially in an aluminum boat where you could actually put a hole in the hull of your boat with enough vibrations going over speed bumps and traveling, towing your boat around town, okay? So today I'm gonna upgrade what I did already to secure my battery in the rear of the boat. Before I get started, I wanna give a shout out to GTX, my man Amir over on that channel. He actually inspired this build. I watched him build one similar to the one I'm gonna do today. But I'm gonna take the basis of his design and add my own twist to it and customize it for my boat. So what I did in my boat when I built this out, and I did something really simple, was just put a piece of angle aluminum from the back rear of the bench to the transom with two little brackets, just riveted in right across the top of this battery to hold it in place. But over the last 2 seasons, this has not held up too well, and it has come out. I've had to re-screw it back in. And I know when I did this, this was definitely a temporary thing. I was near the end of a 5-month build and I just wanted to get this thing out of the water. And this is the best thing I came up with. I'm gonna upgrade this right now. How this is gonna work is I'm gonna build an actual tray out of angle aluminum going along the bottom of this battery and up the back, and then rivet it into the rear bench of the boat. So as I was taking the battery out, I realized I forgot to mention something. One of the challenges with building out this battery tray will be making sure that after I get the tray in, I will still be able to get the battery out. And that relates to how I've already framed out the rear deck of this boat. As you guys can see, I can't just reach in and pull this battery straight out. I have to come out and at an angle and get the battery out. So as I'm building this out, I'll have to account for that. I can't just frame this battery in to where the only way it'll come out will be to lift it straight up. So I need to frame this out in a way that I can lift this battery up slightly, tilt it, and then bring it out the boat. All right, so let me walk you guys through a rough draft of what I'm gonna do here. Got the battery out and I've already measured it up. And the framing I'm gonna do around this battery will go all the way around the perimeter of the battery. So of course, measure out your battery. What I'm gonna do is leave a 1/2 inch extra length on the angle aluminum that I cut. And that's gonna account for me having to get the battery in and out. And I'm doing that just to play it safe. I may not need it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So this battery right here measures 12 inches long. It's 8 1/4 inches tall and 6.5 inches wide. I'm gonna add a 1/2 inch to the length, to the width, and I'm actually gonna add 3/4 of an inch on the piece of aluminum that goes up. So when this is done, just as a rough draft again, this is gonna sit in its own battery tray, something like this, right? I'm gonna have this come out a little bit, leave a little bit of room so that when I wanna get the battery out, I can, something like that. Another thing I'm gonna do is attach a couple small pieces of angle on each side of the battery. I'm gonna take this rubber tarp strap right here and secure the battery down to the framing. You guys will see all of that. I'll run through that as I get closer. And I got one other thing I'm gonna do to this to protect the hull of the boat from the wear and tear as well. That's the gist of it. I've got everything measured up. I'm gonna go ahead and make my cuts and start putting this together. So that's roughly how this is gonna look. I got a little bit of space in here, which I want, because again, I need to tilt the battery out, so I can't have it flush, else it won't be able to tilt and then pull out. And then these are my 2 pieces that will be riveted into the rear of the bench like that. On this piece right here, I'm gonna cut the aluminum out. So I'm gonna cut off this piece right here so that I can lean and get the battery out. On this side, I won't have to do that because it'll be on the back side of the battery. All right, next step is to rivet the frame together. And then I will measure this out and cut out this piece right here so I can remove the battery whenever I want to easily. All right, so I've finished putting all of this together, and I'm using 1/16 inch by 1.5 inch angled aluminum. And I went with 1/8 rivets by 1/4 inch in length. All short rivets. These are short enough so that they're just coming through, but not sticking out too far to where when I put the battery in, the battery's hitting on it. So I highly advise using short rivets. I'm using 1/4 inch in length, and you can see that it's barely sticking out. So it's very solid. This is where I cut the side out because the battery's gonna come out this way. I'll try to demo that before I put it in the boat. I also went and created a couple L brackets on each corner here and riveted in. And you guys see I put 8 rivets in, 4 on each side, just to give it that extra stability. You know, rivets do come loose over a period of time, and this should hold up pretty good. And on this side, same thing, 8 rivets on each corner. So I'm gonna put the battery in it right now just to quickly demo it. It fits in there really well. So taking the battery in and out the boat, I should be able to tilt this battery forward and lean it this way and pull it straight out. What I wanna do now is connect 2 hinges, one on each side. Small piece of angled aluminum right here and on the other side. That way, when I go to strap the battery down, I can hook it right into that. So I got both pieces cut. They're both 2 inches long, and I'm gonna end up attaching this here on each side. I'm gonna go ahead and, just for safety, I'm gonna round off the edges here. Just gonna take my hole saw bit, hold it right up against it, and draw around it. That'll be my cuts. And that's one of the beauties of using 1/16 aluminum, is you literally can just use a snipper and cut right around. Literally just freehand it just like that. Just want to test this out with the strap and see if this is actually going to work. Sweet. So that's how I'm going to run this, just like this. This battery will not lift up. This will keep the battery in the tray solid. So all I have left to do is drill. I think I'm gonna go with 4 or 6 holes here, and I'll probably go with 3/16 inch rivets for that. Go with bigger, stronger rivets for that. All right, got all my holes drilled out. I actually made one mistake. I forgot to account for where my bench stops. And you'll see it when I show you in the boat, but my bench comes down and then it goes in and then connects to the bottom of the boat. So there's actually nothing behind this tray from this line down. The 2 bottom holes I drilled on this side were too far down to the bottom, so I had to drill new holes up here. I caught it in time for this side, so I have 2, 4, 6. What I'm gonna do is put some padding on the bottom of this. If you have anything rubbing against a painted aluminum boat, it will eventually scrape straight through the paint and eat away at the aluminum over time. Running it down the road, up and down the road, a lot of vibration, and it eats away at the actual paint and the actual aluminum of your boat. So what I have here is some foam tape. It's very lightweight stuff. Just got this off of Amazon, of course, and it's got an adhesive back to it. All I gotta do is peel it off. I'll put 4 strips on here right around the frame, and that will protect the bottom of the boat. And I'm really just eyeballing this. No big measurements done. Just want enough on here just to give me enough protection. All right, just something nice and simple like that to pad underneath. This is just from my battery alone sitting at the bottom of the boat. You can see it scrapes away all the paint. Little by little, it eats away at the bottom of your boat as well. So that's why I put the foam that you saw me just put here. And you can see it's actually pretty quiet. And if it does shift around, it will not create any more scrapes. So that's just me, little additive, just trying to think about this thing long term. This is in here really well. It's not moving. Have a little bit of movement here, of course, because I'm not securing this side to anything. I'm not concerned about that at all. This battery is only 23 pounds. It is a lithium battery, very lightweight. 1/16 inch aluminum, very lightweight as well. And I think this is a perfect match for this. Of course, if you have a heavier battery, you might want to consider using 1/8 inch aluminum, a little bit thicker. much more stronger. But if you're running lithium batteries like I am, generally come lightweight, you shouldn't have any problems at all using this thin material that I'm using. All right, it is done, guys. It's all done. Everything is wired back up. The rubber strap's working out great. A little quick DIY project right here. An easy, simple solution for a battery tray install in a John boat. And you could probably do this in other type of boats as well, but I'm featuring this in my John boat. For a lot of guys out there, if you're out there trying to figure it out for yourself, this may be a great option for you. I can go ahead and get rid of this thing that held it down for a couple seasons, so I can't be mad. I just threw this on there at the very end of this boat conversion that I did on this boat, and it held up. It did its thing for 2 years, but now we're on to something a lot more permanent and long lasting. And that does it. Nice, quick, easy project. Super excited about it. Finally saw for that. I wanted to do that last year in the off season, but got busy doing another boat. So I'm able to actually focus on my boat this off season for right now. I don't have a John boat build to do yet. So if anybody out there is seriously interested and is ready to make a move and get their John boat converted this off season and be ready for the spring, DM me on Instagram, send me a message on Facebook, shoot us an email. All information is linked down below. So speaking of my boat, I've got some things lined up that I'm gonna do to this boat this off season, some cool little projects. So stick around to the channel, look out for that as well. And also got the 10,000 subscriber giveaway coming up very, very soon. So hopefully this video will help anyone out there that's trying to figure out how to secure their battery. It is something serious. Some states actually require that to be legal, your battery has to be strapped down in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So it's a pretty big deal besides just a safety issue. You don't want your battery loose, flopping around while you got cables connected to it. And it could just be a complete disaster in the making. So again, hopefully this helps out some people out there that may be trying to figure this out for themselves and apply this to their build in their way. As always, everything I use in this video, I will leave it linked in the description below so you can quickly find exactly what I use, the materials that I use, and help you out there as well. So that's just about does it. Going to go ahead and end it right there. Stay tuned to the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you following us. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Leave us a like on this video if you got something out of it. As always, guys, stay safe out there. We'll see you next time.